ghostly hauntings as time began. Raw side paranormal seeks the truth, looking for some kind of real proof. Creaky floorboards and eerie dark mist. Grab your camera and document this. No time to run, no time to hide. We are catching all of this on the raw side. A slamming door causes a fright. A shadowed hand appears in sight. Grab your REM pods and your K2s, or anything else you can use. No time to run, no time to hide. We are catching all of this on the wrong side. A slamming door causes a fright. A shadowed hand appears in sight. Grab your REM pods and your K2s, or anything else you can use. No time to run, no time to hide. We are catching all of this on the raw side. The icy air touches your neck. You feel like screaming, but you stay in check. All's rising up to take the magical flight. You can't believe what's happening tonight. Don't run, don't try to hide. We are catching this all on the raw side. Don't run, don't try to hide. We are catching this all on the raw side.
Hey everybody, happy Raw Side Wednesday to everybody. How are you all doing? I'm excited about this one, and I hope you are too, to have John back on to talk about Bigfoot adventures. First, I want to say hello to everybody who has come to hang out with us. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Miss Pinky. Thank you for the donation, sweetie. I really appreciate it. Miss Janice is in the house. Hello, Sage. How's it going? Excuse me. Here we go already. Welcome, welcome, everybody, and all the lurkers. Hello, hello in the background. I'm not going to make John wait any longer than he already has. Let's bring him up, get your questions ready, and let's welcome John to the show. Hello, John. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm doing it. Yes, it's good to see you too. Sorry we didn't get a chance to chat before the show. I was running a little behind time, so
that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Just figured we'd all just jump on and just roll with it.
That's
so
it.
I'm glad to have you back on. I think it's been about a year, hasn't it? Almost.
Yeah. I was, right before we got on, I was thinking about last time I was on, and I said, "Geez, it's been a long time."
You've been a busy guy.
Yeah, had a lot going on.
Busy. Hey, Phil, welcome in. So yes, we're all excited to find out what you've been doing this past year. Of course, I know there's news stories because I've been following what's been going on, and
sure,
you've been all up in the Adirondacks and checking things out, and kind of stinks because I was looking forward to even maybe being up there at some point and catching you out on one of the streets, and and I just that was a lot going on with my mother this year, and and she just recently passed, so I didn't have a chance to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna have to get caught up right here. Sage, thank you so much, sweetie, for the 3 US. I really appreciate it. So guys, get your questions ready. And John, tell us what you've been up to and where's Bigfoot been?
Yeah, so Bigfoot's been everywhere. I've been up to a lot. So yeah, since we haven't talked in a year, it's been a whirlwind the past year. So we just turned the corner on 3 years, and how much, I mean, we've done so much, we've accomplished so much, we've documented so much. I'm super excited about it. So our count is up to 45 encounters. that we
Wow.
documented here in the Adirondack Park, and that's 45. If you go through our YouTube channel, you see that's 45 videos, and
Right.
each video may contain one, two, or five different experiences that folks have shared with us. So that number is much higher, than 45 when
Right.
you really do the math on each individual. So starting from 12 3 years ago, going what's going on here in the Adirondack Park from a Bigfoot perspective, and looking up BFRO and going, wow, there's only 12 documented experiences in the Adirondack Park. How could that be? To now couple hundred. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
super interesting.
And those are all are they mostly all year-round residents that all of these things have happened to?
No, some year round. Some are, folks that come up for the summer or on vacation. Just depends on the circumstances and where they're from and why they're here.
Right. Exactly. Why? I mean, who would have
Yeah.
thought the Adirondacks? I mean,
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, and that was kind of my point. When we have Whitehall, right? And Whitehall is the Bigfoot capital of the East Coast. And that's because of 50 years ago, this year, 50-year anniversary, there was that well-documented Bigfoot experience that included 4 or 5 different authorities, like the New York State Police, the Whitehall local police, Sheriff's Department, and they all had witnesses somehow, some way, from authority type figures, folks that we trust, right? So we say
right.
we believe them, and they all describe the same exact thing. So now Whitehall itself is legally a Bigfoot sanctuary. So it's illegal to hunt Bigfoot in the town of Whitehall. So super interesting. But we just turned the corner on that 50-year anniversary. So that also makes a big deal for Whitehall this year, because it's also the 10-year anniversary of the Whitehall Sasquatch Calling Festival. So it's a big year for Whitehall and for Bigfoot in the Northeast.
I guess so. Now, my curiosity is, what are the descriptions that they're giving as to what they're seeing?
So it just depends on who you're talking to. You talk about Whitehall itself?
Or just in general.
Yeah. So it just depends on who you're talking to, because some folks have described large 6 foot, 8 foot tall creatures, bipedal, brown. I've heard tannish color. I've heard gray. I've heard black fur. So I've heard so many different descriptions, from even them being on the thinner side to very top heavy, as in very broad, wide shoulders. So, I mean, I've heard a lot of different ways to describe this type of this type of experience, but who's to say what that means or what that could be? I mean, I got my own theories on everything now. It's been a while of me listening and digesting and researching to really, describe what I think, each could mean. I think when you say, he had gray fur, well, maybe that's an elder Bigfoot, right? Maybe that's an older Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Maybe he had tan fur and he was only 6 feet tall, not 8. Well, maybe that's a juvenile. Right. And then the 8 foot brown seems to be pretty similar across the board, around that height and around that color, where you would say, well, that would probably just be a mature Bigfoot out there.
Right. Yeah. Because remember the story I told you about my friend and his daughter last year, where she said about 8 foot, but the dark brown fur.
Yep.
So
very common.
Find that very interesting. Chaos wants to know if you have any footage.
Do I have any footage? I do not. I do have some audio that was sent to me from a couple of folks out in Paul Smith's College area, where they were staying at a lean-to and hanging out there, and heard some screams. So some unidentified screams. You're running through any type of AI or anything and say, well, what type of species or animal is this? It's unidentified. So they did get those audio files to me, and I did add them to the Paul Smith's YouTube video that I made.
So yeah,
very interesting.
Check that out. Chaos also wants to know if you ever had any encounters yourself.
So I have not had an encounter, but I've had a few experiences that were unexplained that I would chalk up to Bigfoot, right? So a couple of different, so I just mentioned Paul Smith. So when I was up there, so they shared the audio with me. They shared their experience. I documented that. And then the next step is go to the area and do an investigation. So go to the area where they had the experience, take a look around, see if you see any evidence of Bigfoot, right? Which could be footprints or structures or, X formations in the trees or anything out of the ordinary, tree breaks or twists or anything out of the ordinary that could point in the direction of Bigfoot. And I did that. And one of the things I did find out there was a large X, formation that didn't look natural of two trees that were crossed in the middle of the forest. So when I found those, I said on the way out, I said, I'm gonna take a piece home with me. I'm gonna take I'm taking a Bigfoot souvenir home with me. Right.
Right.
I got a little brave, right? And I broke a piece off one of the X's. I brought it home. And I put it in the middle of my driveway, leaned it against my little bear that holds a sign that says welcome, and it was, I'm like, thinking like, this is going to be great. Now when I go to a Bigfoot conference or I'm talking to people, I could like right now, I could show you the piece and say, oh, look, I got a piece of a Bigfoot X. And come to find out that night, there was two loud smacks on the side of my house while I was sleeping in my bed with my wife. Something we've never experienced here in the past 10 years we lived here, and we live in the middle of the woods by ourselves out here. So it's like, what the heck is this, right? We check our ring cameras. I go outside, nothing. And I'm like, I don't know, who knows what that was, And then I left for work. So I travel for my day job, usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. I'm out in hotels. My wife's home alone. And that following 2 nights later, Tuesday night, again, bang, bang, twice that night. And it freaked her out real bad. And she was like, listen, I don't know. What did you do? What happened here? But something is, smacking the side of the house or pounding on the side of the house. And so I came home early that week. I spent the night that night, but I came back the next day. I started talking to my Bigfoot buddies, my experts. And they told me, you might have brought something back with you. So go ahead and, what they told me the remedy of this was go out in the middle of your driveway, apologize for breaking this piece of X off and bringing it back and really be genuine, because you may have really brought something back with you. So I did that. We never had any more issues again, but it's just very interesting and coincidental that happened, right? So could that have been Bigfoot? Sure. Could it have not been? I'm not sure, but I'm going to chalk it up to I was on a Bigfoot investigation. I probably took something I shouldn't have out of the middle of the forest, a symbol of Bigfoot, and then something pretty scary happened. So, and then there was a separate experience where me and another buddy who's had multiple experiences that I documented. His name is Brian. He's an 80K hiker. So him and his family are avid hikers. They've done the NPT, everything all over the Adirondack Park. They spend the night in the lean-tos all the time as a family, things like that. Pretty cool. He took me out for a hike in an area that, he's had an experience. We would go check it out and chat about it. And along the way, I brought 3 apples with me. I said, well, maybe we'll leave some gifts along the way, right? If there's something out here. So we're like broken branches on a tree. I was smashing apples on the trees on the way up the trail, up the mountain. And we said, we'll check them on the way back. Maybe something's eating apples on the way back, right? So on the way back, all the apples were there. We left them as is, and we went home. The next morning, I woke up to go to work, and when I drove out of my driveway and got to the road, right in the middle of the road, there was a smashed apple right in the middle of the road, in the middle of my driveway. So I was like, that freaked me out. So there's a few unexplained things, and they do say if you're looking for Bigfoot or you are well known in the Bigfoot community or talk to folks who have had experiences, you could be marked. They would know of you and what you're up to, and these may be warning signs that, hey, just an FYI, we know you're out here and we know what you're doing.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of scary. Wow. So Cree has a question for you. She says, I'm curious on your thoughts on Portlock. It was abandoned by the native of Alaskan, but stories of Bigfoot go back as far as 1867. A newspaper in San Francisco reported giant men coming down to eat them.
Yeah, I've heard of this. I've listened to some stories. I know that nobody goes there because the locals and the natives absolutely have evacuated this town, and refuse to go back and warn everyone to not go there because of some of these old lore stories out there
Right.
of some large beasts of sorts are literally eating people. So
Ooh.
that's why the village was abandoned, and it sits there abandoned there today. So that's all I know. I just know the story. I know the lore, but I haven't done a lot of research on it because that's West Coast.
Yeah, oh wow.
It's interesting though. That's like
It is interesting.
that's one that really gets you. It says, "Wow." I mean, even people today from all walks of life will not go to that area.
I think
Everybody's
is it the
everybody's
same story where there was a bunch of men working in that area and they were staying in a cabin? And during the night, they were having all kinds of problems, and they ended up leaving and never returning. I don't know if that's the same story or not.
I don't know.
Might be the same area.
Could
Sarah
be.
wants to know, what do you think about the Patterson's dash Gremlin film? Gremlin film.
Gilman.
Gilman, is that how they say it?
I think it's pronounced Gilman.
Okay.
So the Patty, I love the Patty film. That's our proof that Bigfoot's real, right? That's the video evidence that we say this one is the real one. So I feel good about it just by all the analysis that's been done since 1967 to now. On that video says that it's not natural. That it's not human. That it has to be something else, and it's definitely not a suit. So we're rolling with that in the Bigfoot community. Does it prove or disprove Bigfoot? No. But there is a new documentary that's been out and circulating a little bit. It hasn't been released yet, called Finding Bigfoot. And this one has new evidence proving that it's a fake. So more to come on that subject. So that is a big discussion right now in the Bigfoot community. Not even a discussion. I mean, this is a big, depending on what side you're on, who you're talking to, it's an all-out scrap right now. So it's a sensitive subject. I love the Patty footage. So we'll see where the future takes us with that. But there is a lot of other very credible footage out there that's not proven to be real or to be fake. That if you just looked at it as an outsider and said, if I was to say that was a real Bigfoot, that's a real Bigfoot, right? So it's all up to the eye of the beholder at this point.
Right. Okay. See, I just think it's amazing because I pretty much grew up in the Adirondack Park, and I, never ever heard stories growing up about this until, I stumbled across you, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, Adirondack Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And then when you started describing certain things that you'd find in the forest, I'm thinking, oh my God, I've seen those things. Like the stack of trees.
Yeah.
That you would think maybe they're using for shelter. I mean, nature just doesn't make them pile up like that.
Yeah. Right.
Somebody's moving these giant logs and putting them in that shape. It was so all this stuff started clicking.
That's right.
It's really strange.
Yeah, me and my buddy Bud, we go out to Wells a lot because that's his research area. He's a researcher, and he's had a lot of activity from audio, and all different kinds of signs and symbols that he's seen out there that he's documented. So I go out and spend some time with him and stuff. And one of the first videos that we made was out there in Wells, and we found one of those structures, and he found it. He brought me to see it. And as soon as he put his hands on it, when he was showing me, there was 2 loud wood knocks right next to us.
Oh, wow.
We booked it out of there, So Bigfoot, I would think so, right? I think that was a warning. Hey, you're too close. Get the heck out of here.
Right. Yeah. And so would you think that maybe there is like a living space for them, or is it just a marker of some sort?
And that's a lot of what people like, the X being a marker of that's a territory where they go. The structures being a marker of, hey, that might be where they hang out. Tree twists or bends or breaks 8 feet up is something that they describe as maybe like highway markers. Like these are travel routes, like a hunter would put a ribbon on a tree and mark the path they're going through the woods to go to their hunting spot, stuff like that. So, yeah.
So actually you think that they follow the same trail every year? It's the same They don't deviate from those trails.
I'm sure they do, but they may need to keep their bearings out there one way or the other, so they know where the safe zones are. You know, which way is the easiest or best way, or maybe their family units. You know, if that you lose track of mom, you know, just look up and focus on the trees, and you know, follow the 8-foot breaks, and you'll get us there. I did go off path on one investigation and start you know, looking into an area where I saw some breaks up high, and I said, that's pretty interesting. Look at these. There's 1, 2, 3 right there that I can see, right, and they're about, you know, maybe 50 yards between the three. So I started following, and then more I looked, there was another one, and I went a little further. There's another one, a little further. There's another one, and I turned around, and I was in the middle of nowhere, and I was afraid that for my life, right? Because I was like, how do I get back now? So I'm like trying to go back and identify these breaks so I can get back, but they work perfectly. So I think so. I mean, it's up for discussion, but I think there's some sort of marker.
Trail markers. Oh, very interesting. All right, Cree has a question.
Sure.
She says, why is that with all of the reports of Bigfoot in Portlock that no real studies have been done there? No reliable studies of the place, at least that I have seen.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a good question. And you know, when you think about, I mean, it's a forbidden land. You know, it's literally nobody goes there. So I'm not sure. I haven't done any research on that really. I've just heard the stories just like you. So I'm not 100% sure. If that was in the Adirondack Park, I would have been there. I would have checked it out.
Right.
I would know it inside and out. But you know, because it's over on the other side, not so much.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly that there should be a much some sort of investigation or something to see what's going on, because something definitely is.
Now I'm wondering, do they allow people to go there to investigate, or they just have it shut down and nobody's allowed?
I'm not sure,
because I know they're pretty all up in Alaska. They're pretty, you know, strict about where they want people to go and where they don't want them to go.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Admit, Purple, William, Holly, Carla. Hello, everybody. Hello. Getting caught up. Cheza. Hello. Yeah, because I know that there's one program I used to watch. It was called The Last Alaskans, and they're in a state park, and they have permits, and the permits only last until the last child is gone, and then after that, nobody is allowed to live there anymore.
Oh wow!
So they're the only ones there, and after that, when their family units are gone or don't want to be there, then that's it. They're not going to allow anybody else in there.
Right.
So that's why I'm wondering maybe if this is the same kind of rules for for this place.
Yeah.
They're trying to preserve, nature the best that it can.
Right.
Let's see. Check to see if we got any more questions. Yep. Another one from Cree says, what do you think is going to happen to the Bigfoot community if Patty is proven not to be real?
So it's never been proven to be real. I think that we would definitely lose some believers if that's proven not to be real, because that's one of the biggest pieces of evidence that we feel we have in the Bigfoot community. The problem with the Patty film is the Bigfoot have been around much longer than that. And Bigfoot is just not a America thing or a North American thing. It's every continent in the world has some sort of large, hairy, bipedal creature that has a different name depending upon the continent. Going back, I was just reading, and I shared something the other day. There's the Sistine Chapel, Michelangelo depicted a painting of a Bigfoot in some of his work from the 1500s, right? So it just goes back so far, and there's so many stories, especially when you think about the natives way before 1967, where this cowboy went out in the middle of the woods and captured a short piece of film of Patty. So I think it'll cause a little bit of a trauma to some folks that truly believed it the entire time, but I also think that it doesn't prove or disprove if there is such thing as a Bigfoot or not.
Right. all right. As far as you are concerned, and
Mhm.
your opinion is concerned, what do you believe that Bigfoot actually? I mean, we call it Bigfoot because of the footprints and all of that,
Sure.
but what do you believe it actually is?
I believe it is a descendant. I think I so I have I've changed my theories over the more I talk to people and the more I gather information, the more I investigate. I lean towards whatever the evidence points to. So I truly believe it's a flesh and blood being, and I say being because I don't believe it's a monkey, or a gorilla or a gigantopithecus or any of these other primates that people think that they may be. I think there's some lineage there from a human, just like there was Neanderthal at one point. There could be a different type of human. Now, when I say that, I think that they're probably my opinion is that they're probably more of an ancient civilization that used to dominate this planet before the human species took over and wiped everything out. The only difference is they've learned how to survive. Now, most recently, I've been doing a lot of work thinking about geology and different things, right? Because I got into Ticonderoga and Keysville and that area, and there's just tons of caves. I mean, I didn't know the amount of cave systems and amount of mining that we've done in the Adirondack Park in the past, but now I've learned a lot about that. Like graphite, we were the Adirondack Park, the Ticonderoga area, was the number one producer of graphite in the entire world at one point. So all the pencils that say Ticonderoga on it, that's why.
All right.
Um,
Oh, that's good. Hey, that's good to know.
yeah, super interesting. So those caves are still sitting out there. But the other thing I found was not only is there a cave systems and that the ground is very rich, we have some of the oldest ground because of some of the lowest Earth's crust has risen here in the Adirondack Park. So that's what we got going for us, which produced a lot of crystal formations in the form of quartz. And quartz is piezoelectric; it stores energy. And under the weight of the mountains of the Adirondack Park and the rushing waters of the rivers and etc., help generate and store energy within those crystals and within some of those rocks. Now, my thought process is that that ancient species that I say is human descent that's somehow, some way connected to us, has learned how to protect itself from us because we are like the cockroaches of the earth. We take over and destroy everything that
Right.
comes in front of us. And they're the protectors of what's wild, right? And that's what I truly believe. Now, they have the ability to adjust or control their vibration, which would help which would help us understand and believe a little bit more about why the pictures are fuzzy, or why is there reports of cloaking, or why is there only 2-foot steps or 1-foot step and not more, right? So if they can control their vibrations, then they're not they can easily be out of sight of the human eye or of a camera, or maybe even step in and out of different dimensions in different ways. So there's a lot of ways to look at it, and the more and more I get into it, that's kind of where I'm at now, that they're able to harness the energy from the planet. This is a good area full of energy, and if they just think about vibration as a whole, which a lot of animals and creatures throughout the planet can control their vibration and change colors and do different things. And why couldn't a Bigfoot?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Do you, well, of course, my next question would be, what do you believe on the theory that everybody's throwing around? I hear a lot in the paranormal community about them being interdimensional creatures.
Yeah, that's where that comes into play, right? Because if they can control their vibration so they can slip in and out of reality, there's a possibility, right? I mean, I heard, I don't know what's that guy name that does Star Talk. He talks about all the planetary and stars, and he's a astrophysicist and all that. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he said the chances of us being in a different this not being reality are the same amount of chances we have of it being reality. So there's no way to count out that there's a possibility that there's other dimensions, there's other timelines, that it is the possibility is just as much the possibility that we are actually here. So, so I mean, if you hear odds like that from a astrophysicist, somebody that's considered to be one of the smartest people in the world, then you kind of have to believe it. So, could there be another dimension, and could Bigfoot slip in and out from behind the curtain? Absolutely, I believe so.
Very cool. Okay, Janice's question. She says, if you were to come face to face with a Bigfoot, what do you think your reaction would be?
I have no idea. It's a great.
I know what mine would be.
Yeah, I don't know. Poop. I don't know.
So yeah, I had to change my shorts. I know that.
I would run for the river. I have no idea, right? So I mean, it would depend on the circumstances. It would depend on how what your body tells you to do, fight or flight, right? Or do you feel an overwhelming feeling of peace around a Bigfoot, right? You don't know what that effect or what that could possibly be.
Right. So Sage says, my mom's stepdad had an experience in 1947 in North California, at a logging camp. Whatever it was, threw a 55-gallon drum of diesel threw a rock and a limb at the logging shack at night, and one half quit after.
Wow.
That's scary. Because, I mean, come on, 55-gallon drum.
Absolutely. Full? Yeah. Wouldn't be able to lift that. That's
no way.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, message me. I'd love to learn more.
Yeah, message him, Sage.
Yeah, I mean, in recent, so just very recently, I've received a handful of reports of rocks thrown. So I don't know if that's a warning or a playful thing, or even one gentleman reached out to me and said a boulder the size of a bowling ball was thrown at him. And that came through the tree. So branches breaking through the trees as the boulder came forth. And a lot of reports lately of trees being pushed down in the very near presence of the individual. So as of, you have an eerie feeling, something doesn't seem right, that you feel like the rocks are being thrown at you, then all of a sudden a full-on tree falls not too far from you and rattles the ground. I mean, I would say that's just sheer get out now type of message, right? Get out of Dodge. You're too close, and this is your warning.
Because I do remember seeing one of the videos that you had out just recently.
Yeah,
with a woman, and she was saying that it would happen every night at a certain night this past year, because it never used to happen before. That something was throwing rocks at the home.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the kids were out, she says, stuff started happening, and she'd make them come in.
Yeah.
So, and I forgot what the reason was, because like I said, it was a while ago when I watched it, but apparently something, and maybe she thought maybe they were migrating through, and they were upset about them being there or whatever. But
was it one of my videos?
Yeah. The one woman there up in the Adirondacks, which said that stones were being thrown at the house.
That's right. Yeah. So that was Location X. That is, I was doing an investigation someplace else, and she reached out to me and invited me over to her house, which was super cool. And then she lives on a long road in the middle of the mountains, in the middle of the Adirondacks, in the middle of the woods, with a couple neighbors, and that's it. I mean, they're in the middle of nowhere. And she feels throughout her life, she's had many Bigfoot experiences, because that was her grandparents' house, and then her parents' house, and then her house. So she's been on that land a really long time. She moved away and then came back, kind of thing. Once the grandparents had passed, she then took over the house. So, and she feels like that's been kind of a sanctuary area where they've kind of been hanging out. So yeah, certain things where there's been smacks on the side of the house, rocks thrown over the sugar house towards the kids. And they've seen prints. They've heard all kinds of things, to the point where they kept their curtains drawn, the doors locked, and everything. So because they felt like something was looking through the windows at them at night in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the mountains. So that was just a very, very interesting investigation. I'm happy you brought that up, because she did invite me to come back, because it was the dead winter when I was there, to come back in the spring. So I should reach back out to her, see if I can't get out in the woods now.
Oh yeah, definitely, to see what was going on for the rest of this summer.
Yeah.
because actually, yeah, it is. Well, she said because I remember her saying that it seemed like the activity increased.
Yeah.
So yeah, was it because they were unhappy because they were there, or
She had
something
some
that they
family
did?
staying with her. Yeah, so she had some additional people staying with her,
Oh,
and it was like her brother and her sister-in-law and their kids, and they were staying out every night, having a campfire, drinking beers, making noise. So she
okay.
felt like soon as they came and they were hanging out too much, that's when the activity picked up and it started getting aggressive. So as in, hey, we don't like these folks you're bringing around here. Get them out.
Right, right. It was disturbing their peace. I
Yeah,
don't blame them.
yeah,
I get a
yeah.
little cranky when my neighbors
We're,
get out of
we're
hand.
trying to put the kids to sleep over here. Shut these
Right,
people up.
right. It's 10 o'clock. It's time to quiet down.
That's right. It's quiet time.
Uh, Ryan wants to know. He says he's watched Joe Rogan show,
Yeah,
and his guest was saying that they had tested some DNA they found. There
yeah.
was an unknown gene or hybrid.
hmm So I'm drawing a blank on his first name. David Politis. He's the missing 411 guy. He does all the books and videos on missing 411. Yeah, he was just on Joe Rogan, and they had a long discussion about DNA, and that was new news to me because I know we've had some older DNA discussions and tests and things like that. And yeah, so what he was talking about was the DNA comes back as hybrid, as in human and unknown. So they don't know. So I think he said the mother is human, the father is unknown, or vice versa. I don't remember off the top of my head, but and some of the older DNA experiments and tests that they've done have come back the same way, and it's always been shunned as contamination. Well, whoever collected the sample, their DNA got in there, and that's where the human's coming from, right? And we just can't identify what the other animal is. So that's kind of been the throwaway discussion for 10, 15 years now with this whole DNA discussion. But he brought it back with new testing, new evidence, folks that he's working with who have DNA that was not contaminated. So they can't say that, but
Right.
it's still testing the same. So yeah, more to come. I heard that there's a lot of things going on behind doors with some new DNA, and that something big's going to come out here soon. So
Oh,
I'm hoping
exciting.
for the best.
Right. All right. No, actually, what I'm going to have you do is explain to everybody, how do you perform a Bigfoot hunt or whatever, investigation? What do
Yeah.
you guys do, and what do you collect?
Good. So first and foremost, I just want to make sure everybody knows that I'm not an investigator. I'm not a researcher. So I'm not somebody who hunts Bigfoot or goes out in the middle of the woods at night with, night vision goggles and banging on trees, trying to, drum up some Bigfoot. So what I do, I call myself a investigative journalist, and the reason for that is when folks reach out to me and say, hey, I've had a Bigfoot experience and I'd like to share that with you, I say, that's wonderful. Yes, I'd love to hear that. And then they share it with me and I get the details of where it was and all that. And then I'll go out to the area and take a look around. So I'm not getting out there and spending a week camping in the middle of the woods 150 miles out or anything like that. They usually, most encounters don't even happen that far out in the woods, or they're usually roadside sightings is the most common. Folks camping that have some experiences or have a camp that's a little further out. Some like that live in the middle of the woods, like the one with location X. But so then I invite them to come with me and show me the area where they had the experience. So when we get there, we'll take a look around the immediate area. I put the drone up. I look at the terrain around us to see if it looks like it. Is this Bigfoot country, right? Is it very wooded? Is there mountains here? Is there any geology that makes sense? Like recently did one in Warrensburg, and come to find out the Skroon and Hudson meet, and I call that Bigfoot Bend. And where they meet, there are quartz veins visible right there under the water from the rushing water or erosion for hundreds of thousands of years. So super interesting to learn different things in different areas. But then we'll get in the woods and we'll take a look around and see if there's anything that we find. Do we find tree breaks, tree twists? Do we find tree breaks 8 feet up or higher? Do we find any structures out there, anything that doesn't look natural, any X formations? Is there any evidence of prints? What about food, right? So is there any type of food sources? Is there water sources? So there's a lot of different things that we look for to see if we can find some sort of evidence that says, hey, yes, there was a Bigfoot here. Like in December, I spent a lot of time, November, December, working on my Lake George investigation because I had 3 or 4 folks come forward with their experiences, and I went out to the locations and I checked them out. And fortunately for me, I found a Bigfoot print right underneath an X. That was an X formation from a couple of trees that had been set up in an X formation and a footprint right underneath it. So I did cast it. You can see it up there at the very top. It's like half.
Yeah.
But that's my first Bigfoot casting. You can see the toe formation and everything in there, and I tote that around with me with no issues. So
I would too. Wow, that's incredible. Ryan says the missing 411 stuff seems the Appalachian Mountains and even in Massachusetts Bridgewater Triangle supposedly has Bigfoot. I have heard weird things in the woods.
Yeah. Bridgewater Triangle is super interesting. There's a lot of folks that research that area. A couple of folks from Squatchachusetts, they're called, and they come to the Whitehall Festival and speak every year too, which is super cool. And that's a very active area. I know Richie B. He's a investigator and podcast host that's down there too. He does a lot of lives right there in the forest. So definitely a lot coming out of that area. Mr. 411's everywhere. I mean, we have definitely some instances from the Adirondack Park from missing 411, like the Brant Lake gentleman that went missing, and then also the one gentleman that I think one of the ski mountains here, he disappeared off the mountain, and they found him in California, in like within a couple days. So it was like it's still dressed in a ski outfit.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it just like he portaled to someplace else or something. Yeah, so a lot of very interesting things in Bridgewater Triangle and here in the Adirondacks.
All right, that's where Ryan grew up in the Bridgewater Triangle, so he's very knowledgeable about that area.
Yeah,
and all of the strange things that go on. So
I hear a lot about that area. Yeah.
So it's have you ever had a chance to go there, or would you like to go there?
Well, I used to live in Massachusetts.
Oh, all right.
So close to the Bridgewater Triangle, but I wasn't doing anything back then. So, but no, I haven't gone there and done any investigative work. I've talked to the folks and hung out with the folks that do. And Richie B, he's very vocal. He has a lot of great stories. So if you follow him, find his podcast, you'll learn a lot.
It's amazing. I mean, I've been into a lot of shows and cruise through the community there. Some of these people are so extreme.
Absolutely.
And when you get on you watch these programs, they have such, out of control debates.
Yeah.
Because some are just, this is it and you can't change my mind, and
That's
others
right.
are opened. And
yeah.
Have you run into groups like that where, they'll say, well, no, what you're doing is wrong, or,
Sure.
if they have,
Yeah. It's and you see it. I mean, in the comments, you look at the comments on Facebook or YouTube, man, it gets crazy. Some folks are really out there, but I have good friends that are diehards in one direction or another direction, and it's okay. I accept everybody for who they are and what they bring to the table, right? Because there's a reason why they stand that way. So that means that they have some really great opinions and of information and how they're interpreting it. And I'm learning from them. So, stand your ground, state your case, let me hear it. Maybe you'll convince me too.
Yeah. Hey, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of reactions do you get from people when they find out what you're doing?
So it depends on the audience, right? So some folks are like, oh, you're the Adirondack Bigfoot guy, right? And they're really excited. Oh, I follow you. This is awesome. Like I had one guy yesterday. There's a Bigfoot movie called Everything in the Woods. It's being filmed right now, Ransom, New York. So that's in the Adirondack Park. So super cool.
Not too far from me, about 10 minutes.
Yeah. Hey, I was there Monday.
See,
My friend Andy is the producer, writer, all that,
because
and
I was gonna sneak up there and see what was going on.
director. Yeah, yep. She's up there filming it, and she's come down here, spent a lot of time in Whitehall, spent a lot of time with us, just chatting about Bigfoot, trying to make sure that she really understands it before she starts shooting her movie, which is super cool. And she's like, she had a couple folks there that follow Adirondack Bigfoot. They're like, we love your content, we love your investigations. Just great, wonderful reaction. Can I get a picture? Right, that's super cool. And then I get some folks that go, Bigfoot. What? And they laugh in my face, and I go, wow, bro, that's not really nice. So, and then I get some people that are very, very interested. They're like, Bigfoot, really? And then they want to have an intellectual conversation and based on their beliefs and understandings and things that they've heard or things that they've watched. And I think that that's the best one, right? Because it's better to educate than to have disagreements and laugh in people's faces and things like that.
Oh yeah. Well, they're thinking, oh, this guy's nuts, because they have their minds, because we go through the same thing that,
sure.
In the paranormal, they, what do you do? Either they look at you like you're nuts, or they're like totally, oh wow, that is so great, and they want to hear all about it.
Right. Exactly.
And then start telling you their experiences, and
that's what I love. That's the best part. That's right. Yeah.
That's it. Cree says has a question. She says, to me, Portslock, the place to go. The news footage talking to the elders that lived there when they were excavated are interesting to listen to. Why do you think more people haven't looked into it?
I have no idea. Yeah, I can't answer it. I wish I could. But when we get off of this call, I'm going to go ahead and go do a lot of research on this, because you're making me wonder and want to get answers to this too as well. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I've only heard the lore.
Well, because Cree was saying how, she looked into it because she was doing research. Cree writes novels. So she awesome. Does a lot of research for her books. And this was one of the things she researched. Oh. And I'm still thinking it's got probably something to do with
tell us. Come on.
Yeah, Alaskan law, because they're really strict about who is trampling up through there.
Yeah.
And disturbing, the ecosystem. So
absolutely. Yeah.
That's probably part of it.
Well, I have theories on everything, and I don't know if are they really concerned about the environment, or are they protecting something else?
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right. I mean, we have a lot of land. I mean, I know of one area where there is a tremendous amount of Bigfoot experiences by folks that visit that area. And they all come from one specific mountainous area, one specific mountain, you would say. And the problem is it's so dense, and there's no trails that go to that one particular mountain. So only the folks who hike the trails surrounding that mountain have all these experiences. It's a super active area from a Bigfoot perspective. But there is no way to get up that one particular mountain. So, I mean, I don't know. So is there a reason why there's not a trail up that one particular mountain in the Adirondack Park?
Which is, that is strange, because there's always a trail somewhere.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on many of them. So yeah, I would think, why isn't there a trail for that mountain?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. Wow. Yeah. Never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Because I've never had any kind of, because we're always in the woods. We've always camped in the woods, and I've never experienced any. I mean, I might have heard something or something, just blew it off, and
right. Exactly.
Didn't put any thought into it, but because I always, it's just a deer, or it's a bear, or Bigfoot never even entered my mind.
I'll tell you what, deer are the quietest thing ever.
Yes.
They ain't rustling, running through the woods all crazy, maybe during the rut a little bit. But I mean, I've been out there hunting and sitting there scrolling on my phone after I've sat there for 3 hours going, ain't no deer coming this way, and then look up and have 6 deer standing right in front of me looking at me.
Yeah, just staring at you.
I didn't hear a thing, right? And I didn't have any noise on the phone. I was just scrolling, with no volume on.
Yeah, well, it was the last time we were at Lincoln Lake, and that year they were having real issues with the bears. Mm-hmm. So I had my back towards the wooded area, and I had the dog with us, and she just stood up. And I'm like, oh, shit. I said, don't tell me there's a bear behind me.
Oh, boy.
I turn around. Nope, it was a deer just staring at us. And it was the first time my dog had saw a deer. And she
Oh,
was just like
cool.
standing there for a minute, and then she puffed up and started freaking out.
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
But see, I never thought Bigfoot. I'm thinking, oh God, the bear's here. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. Right. Yeah, yeah, true.
let's see. Cree says that you're going to find a lot of odd things happened on that island. More than one country tried to claim that land and left.
Hmm.
Yes, now she's making me curious. I want to know
Yeah,
what's the deal with that place.
that's right. Yeah, me too. I'm gonna look into it more.
She said
Very,
unexplained and unusual deaths, torn apart and no claw marks on the bodies,
yeah,
skulls with nothing around them to crush them. It's crazy what you'll find when you look into it. Wow.
yeah,
Oh, that freaks me out.
unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah,
Would
that
you
is.
go, Cree? Would you go?
Yeah, would you go, Cree? Probably. Yeah.
You going?
She's
I'll
in bed.
fly a drone over it.
Yeah.
Take a look. See what's going on.
I don't know. I mean, what she just said there, I don't know if I'd want to go now.
Yeah.
Ryan says, think Boston, Ohio has that town that was abandoned for some weird reason, even a creature of some kind. Helltown?
Helltown, Ohio?
Really?
Huh, I haven't heard of it.
These are things we all got to be looking into because that's
Helltown,
strange too.
Portlock. I'm writing it down. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. Because you don't know. It's
Yeah,
it's amazing the things that you find out when you start digging into this weird stuff.
that's right. Yeah.
And it's like Ryan, Sir Spookfest. He does that. He goes. I'm telling. He's a well of information about a lot of stuff. So if you want to hear some interesting stories, especially about the Bridgewater Triangle, John, you got to get in contact with Ryan.
Yeah.
Because he's just. You mentioned it. Oh yeah, and then he'll just go on, and he has notes and all kinds of stuff. It's really amazing. Awesome. Yeah, he's a great guy to talk to. So, what was your most exciting experience this past year?
That I researched? Yeah. So my most exciting experience that I researched this year was in Keysville, New York. So just north of Ticonderoga, but kind of almost up by what's that called? Up by the Canadian border there. Up by all Sable chasms and all that. So definitely, north. Let me see, grab the map real quick. Plattsburgh, up by Plattsburgh.
Yeah, it was coming. So, my sister-in-law lived there. You think I would have remembered that? Oh my god!
Yeah, up that way. So I spoke to this gentleman who claimed he hit a Bigfoot with his truck, and I was very kind of skeptical. But I don't question anybody. I take everything at face value, and I don't believe or disbelieve anybody either. I want to listen to the experience and see if there's any evidence, right? So I went up to visit with him, and he took me for a ride through town. He's had multiple experiences. He's had some experiences of instances of screams and pounding on the side of his trailer when he was out hunting on a mountain not far from where he claims to have hit a Bigfoot. And then he showed me the area where he was coming down the road, and something ran out in front of him. He hit it with his truck, kind of clipped it on the side. His old truck. He was, he's retired now, and I think he said 17 or 18 when this happened. It got up on 2 feet. It stood up on 2 feet after he hit it. It fell to the ground, and then it stood up on 2 feet, and then it took off onto the other side of the road. And he said it was Bigfoot. There's nothing else it could have been. It was not a bear. It's all right there in my headlights. There's no way, right? So we're looking around, and you look over to where he says it came from, and there's a cave right there, and it's an old mining cave. And it's a very unique area because the road goes straight down through, but on the side of each road in that particular area is a huge valley where it just dips down. And then a little bit further down the road is where there's a very large pond, so a water source. So super interesting. And what an interesting conversation and person to meet and discuss this entire experience with, because he's had multiple experiences. He was very keen at showing me around town, telling me about his life. Even brought me to his camp that he has, in the summertime, where he has Bigfoot cutouts. He has a family of them
Right.
staged around his camper. And the reason being is it's a part of his life. It's part of who he is. That experience has been with him since he's been a child. So so you can't escape it. And it's like, some people get a Corvette. They love their Corvette. They polish the Corvette. They hang the Corvette stuff. They got a Corvette jacket, and that's their life. That's who they are. It's an identifier of them. Well, Bigfoot is an identifier of him. It's
Right.
him. It's part of him. It's his life, So it was probably the most intriguing, genuine experience that I felt shared with me. Like, I felt emotional through it. So it was
Wow.
yeah, it was very interesting.
Yeah, I would say so. I always wondered, you put those cutouts there, what the
Yeah.
actual Bigfoot would think if seeing those in everybody's lawns,
Right. Yeah.
because they're all over the place.
Right.
Or when
Yeah,
they have
right,
the wood,
right.
they have, somebody gets the log carvings of actual Bigfoot and
Yep.
has it in their yard. You're probably, you're wondering what the hell they're thinking.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So fun.
Friday wants to know, what was the first bit of evidence you encountered that made you start your journey of finding Bigfoot?
So my journey started. So I went to the Whitehall Sasquatch Calling Festival now 4 years ago. So when I went to that, it's my first time, and I live in Fort Anne. I'm the next town over from Whitehall, right? So I said, I had nothing to do that weekend, and the wife had something to do. I said, I'm gonna go up the road. I'm gonna go hit that Bigfoot festival, see what's going on, right? I'm a Bigfoot fan. I had Bigfoot sticker on the car. I like to go hiking, right? Most people who love the wild like Bigfoot in some way, sense, or form. Symbol of freedom, symbol of the wild, right? So interested in Bigfoot, I go out to the festival, and I left with cutting boards and T-shirts and posters and
They saw
just
you coming.
anything Bigfoot. My wife was like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing with all this stuff?" So that's really what introduced me to the community, because there was thousands and thousands of people there, and every single vendor had all kinds of Bigfoot stuff, and there's speakers speaking about all their Bigfoot experiences. I got to meet Brian. He's the guy from Whitehall. He's the last living individual from Brian Goslin that was there. He was a police officer and had that Bigfoot experience there. So it just intrigued me so much. So I wouldn't say evidence, but I would say experience, right? That experience really, really touched me and opened my eyes. And that's when I came home and said, let me see how many experiences have been in the Adirondack Park. Because if Whitehall's right there, and that well-documented experience happened right there to the point where there's a law and it's a Bigfoot sanctuary, let me see what else happened, because we have 6 million acres here in the Adirondack Park, and there was only 12 documented experiences. I said, this is impossible. I have to talk to people and see if there's more than 12. So that's where I started the Facebook page and the YouTube channel and said, let's get to work, see what we can do.
And see what you can do. Yeah. And I don't think people realize how big the Adirondack Park is.
Yeah.
You just told them it's big, folks. It's
yeah, 6 million acres. So Yellowstone, Grand Canyon, all those other national parks, you can put them all together inside of the Adirondack Park. They're not as big. There's no other park in the United States that's bigger than the Adirondack Park. Right.
So it would make sense that Bigfoot would be running through there. I just never thought about
it. That's what I'm saying.
You never thought about it.
That's right.
Cree said, yeah, she wouldn't go to that island. She goes, I trust the elders that lived it, and they said he claimed that island as his own, and she believes them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't go either.
I wouldn't.
So it was a little scary, but like I said, I've been here my whole life, and I'm thinking, Bigfoot, come on. Right. But then when you start seeing, like, and I said, I saw all of these things, trekking through the woods, and because this is what my husband and I did. We always, we got nothing to do, let's go take off, and any dirt road around here we've been on.
Awesome.
And you see these things, the collection of the trees and the X trees, and you're thinking, God, it's kind of strange. Yeah. It's kind of, the stuff just doesn't. It could fall that way.
Yeah.
But when you see the pile of, these are full logs,
right,
that are piled up like somebody's getting ready to make a bonfire.
Mm-hmm.
Nature doesn't do that. So, and you're thinking, what, a bunch of guys come out here and just screw around? Who's picking those up?
And how? Right.
Exactly.
You're not putting a logging truck all the way out there.
Right. Because, nothing else around that area is disturbed. Mm-hmm. It's just that it's like So it's really strange.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
I'm trying to keep it together, guys. We're actually got some storming going on. So if I disappear once in a while,
Yeah.
don't worry about it. I'm still here.
So we definitely work. We recently worked on and investigated the Bigfoot, something I call the Bigfoot byway. So I've kind of named things as I go, right? So where the Screwen River and the Hudson River meet in Warrensburg, where we've had a lot of reports of experiences, I call that Bigfoot Bend, right? And then Bigfoot Cross is Ticonderoga, because there's a small patch of land between Ticonderoga and Lake Champlain. And it's a mountainous area with one road that runs along the side of the mountain, and Route 22, I believe it is. And I call that Bigfoot Pass, because I believe in a migratory route from Canada down through the Adirondack Park, where they hang out in the good weather. And then throughout the winter, they start to migrate south. And that's the only path that they have that's safe to get through would be to cut through Ticonderoga, hit Bigfoot Byway, which is Route 22 area between Ticonderoga and Whitehall, and includes Putnam, Hewlett's Landing, Clemens, those type of areas. Only 1,000 people live in all that area.
Right.
And that would make sense on why we have so many experiences and sightings in the Whitehall area. Why would Bigfoot end up there? And what I think is, as they migrate down the Champlain Lake Champlain corridor from Canada straight down in through New York, they then pass through the pass, and they end up on Bigfoot Byway down there, and that trap, I call, in between Ticonderoga and Whitehall. They got to make a decision. What are we going to do? Are we going south, right? We're going to go south towards the Appalachian Mountains through the remainder of New York, or are we going to go east? Are we going to go hit the Green Mountains over in Vermont, and then hang out Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine? Or do we stay behind, right, and hunker down for the winter, right? So my thought process is this, because most of all the sightings happen in the fall, almost all of them. So when you listen to people and reports, very few in the summer, very few in the spring, most are in the fall time. And I'm thinking it's the fall time because that's the time to start making decisions of what you're going to do for the winter, right? So are you going to hunker down for the winter and hang out in the Adirondack Park? Maybe you're going to hang out in a cave where it's nice and warm and dry. Or are you going to go ahead and head south or east? So that's what I think the importance is of Whitehall in that particular area, which I call Bigfoot Byway, between Ticonderoga and Whitehall, New York.
Right.
Which is also in between Lake Champlain and Lake George. So it's a very secluded area.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
it is.
I mean, and think about the other side, Bolton Landing, everything on the other side of Lake George. I mean, it's just overpopulated, huge in the summertime, houses everywhere.
Yep.
There's a lot going on. But then you go to the other side of Lake George, where you actually have two lakes to choose from within a mile's distance, and there's nothing there. It makes no sense, right? But it's
nothing there anymore.
Yeah, it's a perfect area if there was something going on.
Yeah, you're right. And I always thought that if there was a such thing as Bigfoot activity or the existence,
sure,
that's why we wouldn't find them so easily, only during a migrating episode. Because like you said, the rest of the year, you don't hear about anything.
Yeah. I mean, the Adirondack Park is loaded in the summertime. Everybody's hitting the trails. Everybody's climbing mountains. Everybody's, hanging out on the lakes and the shores, right? So there's people everywhere. But come the end of August, everybody leaves. So September, October, November, that's where a bulk of the sightings come from. And I think that's when they're starting to move out of wherever they were hanging out of the deeper woods or northern woods, and really starting to make decisions on what they want to do for the winter.
Yeah, because they're saying, oh, great, all the tourists are gone. Now it's time to move.
Yeah.
All the people from New Jersey are going back home.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I always wonder, doesn't New Jersey have some place to go? That the Adirondack is loaded with people from New Jersey.
Yeah. Well, they do. They got the Poconos down there. They got their own. Yeah, they got plenty of awesomeness down there.
Every year when we're up there, he goes, don't they have their own mountains to go to?
Yeah, they do, but they choose ours for some reason.
And more places are being built further and further out. And it's causing a disruption. Like they had big problems with bears this year.
Mm-hmm.
because the more and more people are invading their space. So they're coming
Yeah.
into town more often and coming even all the way down to where we are in people's yards. And so
Yeah.
that's not a good thing. But people don't care.
Right.
So let's see. Orion says there is another triangle in Vermont, not from upstate New York, and Bennington Triangle. Lots of legends of people missing Bigfoot sightings.
Yep. Yeah, I've heard of that too. Yeah, I got a couple folks that I talked to that are from over in that area, constantly trying to invite me over there to come hang out and take a look around. But I'm busy in the Adirondack Park at the moment.
We got plenty for you to do here.
I have downtime. I want to shoot across the border here and go hang out over there, because I mean I drive through there for work all the time, and the Green Mountains are beautiful and they're humongous, right? And they're different than the Adirondack Mountains, right? It's a different fault line. It's a different side of the fault line. It's a different glacier movement that happened over there. There's so much from a historical and geological perspective that makes Vermont so dramatically different than the Green Mountains, different than the Adirondack Mountains. But I mean, it's stunning to look from Vermont over at the Adirondack Mountains and then vice versa, you know?
Oh, yes. Yes. I actually think we're very lucky to live in this area.
Yeah.
There's
Agreed.
just so much.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always hear people, you bitch about the winter. And I said, the only reason I can't leave is because of the mountain. I just can't leave the mountain.
This was the worst winter ever.
It's terrible, wasn't it?
I was on the edge. I was like, I'm moving to Florida. That's it. I'm leaving.
We have friends that live there year round up on Fourth Lake. And so, you got to come up before, I'm thinking, this is cold. I'm not going up there.
Uh-huh.
And they heat with it's a wood boiler system for their homes.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, it works great, but if nobody's out there, putting the wood in the boiler outside, you got no heat. And it was cold.
Oh gosh, it was.
I tell her, I'll see you in the spring.
That's right.
Trying to beat out the tourists, and then we go back up when the tourists are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Pam wants to know: have you looked into the corridor down the Rocky Mountains?
No.
So you got to add that to your list, I guess.
Yeah. There's so much. I mean, I get invites for all kinds of things in different areas. One of the things that I want to do is branch out more to hit those festivals, to talk to the local folks more, to really understand that territory and what they have and what they're working with and what's out there, so that I can make friends, right? And then I have a buddy to go out there and take a look around, right? Because I don't want to. And then you got to. It's and the flip side of that is, some areas that. If you say that, like I said, my buddy Bud Wells is his research area, right? So that's his research area. I can't be stepping in Wells and researching on his area without contacting him and telling him what's up, hey, asking, hey, you want to go hang out? I'd like to go look around in your research area, so you can't just go willy dilly all in the woods with on somebody's research area that they've invested years and years into, and they probably have things set up and lined up of areas they're very interested in that's had activity. And, it's an interesting thing when you really look at it from a researcher perspective.
Oh, Jimmy, you're terrible. Does Bigfoot smoke after sex? No, because it causes issues with the fur.
That's great.
Betty wants to know, does Virginia have Bigfoot? Because I'm around the mountains.
Yeah, I would think so. Pretty much, the more I look into it, especially now with the popularity in the past 5 to 7 years, pretty much like we started Adirondack Bigfoot. I mean, I'm sure there's a Virginia Bigfoot, or whatever the mountains are called, Bigfoot. And everywhere has their own now. I mean, if you look on Facebook and you search Bigfoot Festival, or check out the Bigfoot Festival group, you'll see that every state has their own thing going on, if not multiples, in different areas of the state. So it's very interesting to see how much the culture and the community has grown over the years, and then also continues to grow.
Yes.
Yeah. So look at
I was amazed at, even desert area.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't even think they would have a Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a large community there and many stories and sightings. And you're thinking, really?
I have a friend, her name is Jenny. She's actually from the Adirondack Park. She now lives in Texas, and she's got her own research area out there on her property. She owns a ton of acreage, and has a ton of activity and evidence that she collects out there. So
Wow.
super cool. I got a buddy down in Florida, Squatch in Florida. They have they're out in the woods live every day. So follow them. They got a lot of fun things going out, and it's different in Florida. It's called the skunk ape, right? And
Yeah.
the coloring is different, and they do say that it's got like a whitish on the bottom. So if you see it standing up looking at you, it's going to have a more of a whitish belly.
Now, see, you saying that just reminded me when my friends were up in the mountain there last year. And the daughter did say that, yeah, the creature that she saw was 8 foot, had the dark brown fur, but it did have the white stripe.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So where the hell did he come from? Florida?
I don't know. Well, yeah, those ones down there are usually like a grayish color with the white, but I don't know. And that makes me wonder too, is like, because think about it, and this is just funny theory, right? Where does everybody go to retire? Florida. So
Right.
if the elder Bigfoot are more a gray color, and then they're down in Florida, and now they're called skunk apes.
Yeah.
I think
Everybody goes to
that's
Florida.
funny, but who knows? Who knows? And the same thing down in Louisiana, the bayou and all that. They have swamp ape. They have, there's something different in every type of area that there is out there.
Yeah. So see, now that makes me wonder, because
Yeah.
you said that usually the Florida ones have the stripe. She said
Yeah.
this one had the white stripe.
That's awesome.
So that's really strange.
Awesome. Well, I mean, think about America. America's a melting pot, right?
Yeah.
All type of human species live here.
Interesting. Something else to think about. Friday wants to know, have you ever had some evidence that was promising, but something simple proved it would be nothing?
Not necessarily. Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, throughout the winter, this winter, we had a ton of folks sending in footprints.
Right.
And then, some of them looked really good. Some were questionable. But yeah, I said, I'm going to share them and let everybody else decide. If you're going to send me something, I'm most likely going to share it so that, everybody in the Adirondack Bigfoot group can say, hey, I like this, or that looks like this, or whatever. But what I did get a lot coming back was something about a hare rabbit. So the way that they hop through the snow and place their feet from where they land, and then how they hop again, it actually looks like a footprint and a footprint and a footprint and a footprint, and they look like big footprints. And the problem is they all look like either a left footprint or a right footprint.
Okay.
Only, right? So no right or left.
Right.
So very interesting. So then where I had some folks calling that out, saying, I think that's a hare, that's not real, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, well, let me look up some hare snow footprints and compare them to this picture. And that particular, and in a lot of those circumstances for those prints, so I shared 20 separate snow prints, and maybe 13 or 14 of them definitely were probably some sort of hare or rabbit or fox that was just jumping through the snow in a specific way that made it look like large footprints.
Now, see, that's the thing, you're pointing that out.
Yeah.
How could you tell between, an actual supposed Bigfoot footprint and something else? Is there something distinctive between?
No. So there's something they call like a dermal break, kind of like a primate footprint where the front and the back push down. So then there's a bend in the footprint. And then also, you can see the toe prints themselves. And here in the Adirondack Park, what's really difficult from a footprint perspective here compared to other places is if you don't find one in the mud on the side of the stream, they're really, really difficult because our ground is just covered in sticks and twigs and leaves and all the debris, and it's just so difficult. So if you looked at my Lake George one up close, you can see, where there could be a dermal break, where there could be toe prints and all that. But I mean, it's just, you can tell that was in that's an Adirondack print. That's not like in the sand in Florida or, in the mud out in California or something, so definitely different, and it's harder here.
Right. Well, so my friend and his daughter, like when they had their experience, the trail that they were on was actually wet and muddy, some of
Great.
it.
That's
And
great.
where they found the birch branches that were pretty much driven into the trail.
Mhm.
He sent me those photographs, and I blew them up because
Yeah.
that's what I was looking for. Because no matter where the supposed creature was stepping, it would have had to step on some part of the muddy trail.
Right.
I would think, but I couldn't see anything in the photographs. Actually, I
Yeah.
have to dig them up, and I'll have to send them to you so you can look.
Yeah.
Because
I'd love
the
to.
story, I can't get a hold of him because I wanted to see if he was going to come on tonight with me. But like I said, when they went on that trek on that trail, he saw the birch branch walking in on the left side, and he was thinking, well, it's kind of odd. They're all pine trees here. Where did the branch come from?
Yeah.
And he couldn't pull it out, so somebody had hammered it into the ground, supposedly.
Yeah.
So then after they had their experience and they were hauling butt out of the woods, coming down that same trail, on the opposite side of that trail was another birch branch.
Oh, wow.
Now, if somebody was busting their chops and they were, put it in there, and they would have had to hammer it in with a rock.
Right.
You would have heard that noise.
That's right.
There
Yeah.
was no noise.
Mm.
So whatever it was had shoved that thing into the ground,
Right.
and because he couldn't pull it out. So that's when he started thinking, okay, we're having a problem here. We probably should leave.
Yeah.
And then that's when they heard that hellish noise in the trees. And,
Wow.
they didn't know what the sound was. But it wasn't something that they were used to hearing. So, yeah, I'll have to see if I can find those photographs, and I'll send them to you, because maybe you could pick up something, because I don't know that much about it. But you would know what to look for.
Sure.
So it would definitely be interesting if you maybe be able to pick up a print, because it would be awesome.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you.
And then I could contact him and say, hey, look, this is what we found. And
Yeah. That's right.
Now we're giving you a reason, why your daughter was, white as a ghost and swore, because she don't normally swear. And boy, she was telling them they had to get the F out of there quick. It scared the hell out of her.
Yeah.
And it wasn't aggressive. It was just staring at her. So I don't know if he was pretending to be camouflaged against the tree. And because he just stood there and stared at her, and she was just like frozen, and then did a quick Yui and got out of there because she was scared to death.
Yeah, I would have been scared to death too.
Yeah, and the thing that sucks is this girl usually has her phone out 24/7 taking photographs.
Right.
She loves to take photographs, and she didn't have it with her that day. So I mean, talk about getting a kick in the shorts, because the one time that you really would need to take a photograph,
That's
and
right.
there it was, right there in front of your face, not 4 feet away from you,
Staring at you.
And then, of course, my friend was trying to say, well, maybe it was a bear. Or maybe she goes, no, I know what an effing bear looks like, Dad. This wasn't a bear. And it moved so quickly from where she had seen it, and the time where they got back up towards the, halfway up, it was already on the other side.
Wow.
Because that's where they saw they heard the echoes of that howl, or whatever you want to call it. And this was daylight, not at dusk or whatever. It was during the day. So most animals that do the kind of howling, they would be a nighttime creature.
That's right. Well, they say that's kind of how they speak, like a howling whoop kind of communication piece. It's very interesting, that when you think about vocalizations from a Bigfoot, people describe them in different ways. I did have one experience. I was in Wells with Bud, and where we actually went back to see if we could find that structure from last year that, where we had the wood knocks, and said, hey, let's go take a look at it. We did find it. It was torn apart. So in the middle of the woods, big pile of logs is now spread all over the place. Right. So that doesn't make any sense either. Wind didn't blow that over, And we heard what sounded like monkeys to us, like ooh, ooh, ah, ah, monkey sound. And we're going, I said, do you hear monkeys? He's like, I was just going to ask you the same thing. I was afraid to. I don't know if I'm going crazy. I was like, I swear I hear monkey sounds. We did hear a few wood knocks too. And we were like, what the heck is going on? And then we went back. So Bud loves audio. He records audio everywhere he goes when he's in wells. So try to analyze that because he finds a lot of different situations, like a lot of static and out of nowhere for no reason on these audio recorders, or different sounds, or like something's moving or grabbing, or breaking branches near the microphone. The microphone was in his pocket. That didn't happen. Or he left it on the car at the campsite. That didn't happen.
Right.
The static is very interesting because where he keeps getting the static, he did some research on the area, and this is good for you. Guess what he found? There's an ancient cemetery there.
Oh.
And mostly kids are buried there.
Oh,
and he heard
wow.
kid, like what sounded like kids playing in the background.
Oh,
And
that's
then also
incredible.
he picked up music once, and there's nothing else there. So there was no other campers. There's no nothing. Super, super interesting area. So he went back and played back the monkey sounds because he said, well, it must be recorded because I have my recorder on. And he played it that night and then sent it to me. And when you played it back, it sounded like whoops. Didn't sound like a monkey at all. So it's like, was that a different tone that we were hearing with our ears in person than what was actually being used? Or is it translated differently through electronics? It was super interesting. Just brings up more questions,
Yeah. Friday House wants to know, final question before I have to run. If there was a piece of equipment you would want for finding Bigfoot, what would it be?
The one thing I get that everybody tells me I have to have is infrared for my drone, so I can see if there's any heat signatures as I'm flying it over the forest and things like that. I'd love something like that. Unfortunately, it's way out of our budget at the moment, but that would probably be the one piece that I think would be an amazing addition. To any equipment that we have. I did recently pick up an EMF reader because of all the stuff Bud keeps talking about, and somebody recommended that. I did get one. I tried it out once. I didn't get anything, but I'll keep at it, and I'll add if I find anything.
Right. Yeah. That's the whole problem with anybody that does any of this kind of stuff. It's the equipment is, you got to save up for a lifetime to afford some of it.
Yeah.
Pam wants to know, do the debunkers or skeptics have a lot of effect on how you look at evidence?
No, I love debunkers and skeptics. So keep your enemies closer, right? And you know what the funny thing is? I heard that the ones who hate you actually watch and contribute more. And when I went back and looked at the analytics, it's true. The ones that do not like anything that I do, and the naysayers are the ones that pay attention the most. But they don't bother me. I've learned to, at first it did, but now I've learned to, really think about it in a different way. How can I have a conversation with them in a meaningful way to the point where it's gonna sway them in the direction of the possibility of Bigfoot. So I always ask a lot of open-ended questions, and I continue to, poke the bear with and pepper the conversation with the possibility, and try to flip them to really think a little outside the box.
Right. To open up the door of possibility.
That's right. Yeah.
Because I'll hear a lot of people, oh, no such thing. I said, you can't say that. And they go, well, what do you mean? I said, you can't say that because, and I always use this as a reference. Years and years ago, no such thing as a giant squid.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know there is.
That's right. Yeah.
It's been proven. So what does it say that there isn't a bear-like creature or humanoid-like creature that is running through the mountains and we just can't catch it?
Yeah. Yeah. And so here, I love that you said that because, and this is just a historical Adirondack story. There was originally an Adirondack Bigfoot, something they called Bigfoot, way back when, I think it was the 30s or 40s here in the Adirondack Park. And it's documented. I'm going to do a piece on it. I'm just waiting for the right time. But anyway, hunters, trappers, all that were out. And, they kept getting reports of this large hairy beast of a creature out in the deep woods. And so they all got together and said, you know what, we're going to kill it. We're going to go find it and hunt it down. And they did this, right? They went and found it and hunted down. And what they found after they hunted it down was it wasn't too far from a makeshift cabin in the middle of the woods, right? And then when they went and found what they hunted down and followed the blood trail and actually discovered the thing that they hunted down, what they discovered was it was like a hobo, like a human gentleman that was living out in the forest, and he just he made his own clothes out of deer hide and bear hide, and his shoes out of beaver hide, and all these things. So and then it's all dirty and caked, and it looked like he was a beast in his clothing, but he was just a man trying to live off the forest. But it's a well documented first encounter of Bigfoot in the Adirondack Park with a sad ending.
Yeah, well, see, that's human nature. Don't find out what it is. Kill it first.
Well, that goes back to the point of why would anybody, like, say the government knows that there's such thing as Bigfoot, that there's an ancient species out there that's living amongst us, but they know how to hide. So we're not gonna. Maybe they're helping in some way, shape, or form. But why not exploit them? Why not say that they exist? Because that's exactly what would happen. Somebody would want to head for their wall.
Exactly.
It would be a problem.
And say, well, the rule that I go by is if you're going to hunt it, you have to eat it. And I don't see anybody eating Bigfoot. So,
yeah. And there's actually a town in Pennsylvania that's documented, well documented too, that hoax. So the town's budget, the mayor and the board of directors and all that town, they're about to go bankrupt. Right? The town was about to go under. They couldn't sustain anymore. So they decided to put on this Bigfoot hoax, right? They made prints, they did all these things, and started documenting them, get them in the news, bringing news people there to show them what they're finding, that there's Bigfoot in town and all this stuff. And what happened was hunters from all around America gravitated to the town. The town was bustling. The diner is booming. They're selling food and supplies like crazy. And, they're all getting rich and happy about it. But it ended up being a hoax. So it actually ended up ruining the town, the economy. Those folks went to jail. And then I believe some folks got hurt because they were out there shooting into the middle of the woods and stuff, thinking they're going to kill them. It's a whole bad deal came of the whole thing.
See, it always takes just a few bad apples to screw everything up and cause a problem.
Yeah, they were actually selling Bigfoot hunting license, like
really
government official town Bigfoot hunting licenses. Yeah.
Could you imagine saying, applying to the government, say we need to have Bigfoot hunting license? And I could just imagine the person at the desk saying, "What?"
It's unbelievable. But that just goes to show what would happen. I mean, no matter what, that's what would happen if there was something like that known to be out there.
Right.
I mean, we're kind of proving that there was never been an aliens. We haven't proved that there's ever been aliens. Do we think there's aliens? Probably. Everybody pretty much suggests that there is something out there.
Yeah.
But now we have confirmed from the government that there's UFOs everywhere. So who knows?
Yeah. Who can trust them, right?
Yeah. Right. Who knows?
I can't trust any of them. But
yeah.
Yeah, I just think if you don't leave the door open for any of these things, I mean, it's just ridiculous because we don't know. I mean, everyone wants to. I get it. You want to explore space, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But we still haven't even explored our own world that we live in to the fullest extent. So, I mean, we don't know what's out there.
Yeah. Yeah, they say there's still at least 8 million species on this planet undiscovered. The argument always is, yeah, it's all in the bottom of the sea. It's possible some of it's there, but it's possible there's some that's not. I mean, we're always discovering something new all the time, whether it be, I think the tiniest monkey on the planet was just discovered. It was a species thought to be extinct for 100,000 years, and they now found it. It's still alive. So,
just don't know.
Yeah, it's all kinds of craziness, but you never know.
So yeah, let's see. Pam says, Ross, I'd also consider all of the people supposedly hiding in different forested areas If
Mhm.
they are more or less unknown and invisible for all intent purposes, why couldn't Bigfoot be?
Huh?
Exactly. I just think Bigfoot's smarter than we are, for
Yeah.
one. I mean, you got to think of, how many centuries or whatever that they've lived in the woods compared to us.
Yeah.
And so they know how to avoid it. And then, we always get the question here, and same thing. Why don't you ever find the corpse of a Bigfoot or bones of a Bigfoot?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. So everybody always asks that one. That's the big question, because if
Yeah.
we did, we'd have the DNA, right? Um, so I do, I have a theory on that, and that was just based on research, because my first inkling was Bigfoot was a descendant of types of Neanderthal, right? As in that DNA cut off somewhere, and that's still a true possibility, could be a possibility of sorts. But one of the things that they've only found a couple small pieces of bone of Neanderthal, right? So that's the only proof that they have that Neanderthal exists. And what they found on those bones were they were just fragments of bones that were left over that were gnawed on. And so it's the fact is that they believe that if a Bigfoot, I mean not if a Bigfoot, if a Neanderthal passed away, the elder that elder Bigfoot that passed away was then consumed fully, including bones, to take in all their energy, their spirit, and all that other stuff, and pass that down to the younger generation. So if that's true, could that something like that happen to Bigfoot? And then there's the folks that always say, well, when's the last time you found a bear carcass, right? So anything that passes away in the middle of the woods is scattered by all the animals.
Yes.
Within days, you're not going to find anything. You may find one bone someplace, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, nature just takes over. That's just the
Yeah.
way it works. Yeah, see, Sage she has pretty much the same question, because it's true. Yeah, how many times have you gone into the forest and found a cougar or a bear skeleton?
Yeah.
Never.
Right.
And especially here in the Adirondacks, you find their bear are everywhere. So
Yeah.
and when have you ever seen a bear skeleton? I've never found one.
Yeah. Nobody admits to ever finding them. I talk to a lot of hunters too and stuff. They're
Yeah.
like, no,
No.
you don't find anything like that. Once something dies, everything consumes it, and then it's just gone.
I mean, I can't even find deer antlers anywhere. So I mean,
Right.
you're really lucky when you find those.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think that same thing all the time too. Where's the deer antlers? If there is such thing as deer, where's the antlers?
Yeah, that's right. Where are they? So that's the truth.
I still don't believe there's moose out there. I haven't seen one.
The Adirondacks have been having moose sightings everywhere, and I've missed all
Yeah.
of them this year.
Those are fake pictures. They're AI.
The last one I heard was in Eagle Bay, and I told my husband, "Oh
That's
man,
right.
we
I did
missed it
hear that.
again."
Yeah. A sad fact I just learned about moose is 9 out of 10 babies don't make it because of ticks.
Yeah, the ticks are horrendous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ticks make them anemic and they die.
Yeah, the ticks are horrendous, and that's a shame that we can't really do anything to control them
Right.
without hurting something else.
Yeah.
See, I have run away from a moose in Maine. Oh, well, the last time I saw a moose, the one and only time I saw a moose, I was about 8 years old, 9 years old, and we were at camp on Sixth Lake.
Oh.
And we were all down at the beach, and we were all like, "Oh wow!" And then, of course, my father was saying, "It's not swimming; it's walking." You see this giant bull moose, its head bobbing all through the water, making its way, and we were just in awe. It was amazing.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I haven't seen one since then.
So I did see one once, but it's a sad story. So I was driving back from a trip in Maine, down the highway there, and a car was passing me on the side. A pickup truck was passing me. He had a trailer in tow, and on the trailer was a moose he just hunted. So
Oh,
I know. I was like, no, not the first time.
yeah, that's sad.
Yeah, it's moose hunting season in Maine at the time. So
Oh wow! See, Sage says rodents like squirrels, mice eat the bones and antlers, and they will be gone in just a few years. Yeah, that's what it is. But people, oh no,
Right.
animals do that. I mean, they don't just pick the meat off.
we'd be
They're-
finding bones everywhere.
It's-
It's
oh yeah,
of all animals' bones were just laying around
Right,
all day.
exactly. And whatever other, rodents or whatever don't finish off, the bugs take care of.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I mean, everything out there eats one another. It's all part of
Yeah.
the cycle.
Yeah, and they just found another cave system of an ancient human species that within a cave system there was a den area, like kind of where folks would hang out and all that, and then there was a small route that went all the way up this face of a rock to the top. There's small space on top, and then behind that rock they found tons of bones. So that's where they were getting rid of that's where they were putting the dead, right? And the
Right.
folks that passed. And so that wasn't a living area, that was more of a ritual area, as in saying goodbye to the folks who have passed away, and then where they stored the bodies.
Right, way up,
afterward.
yeah. I mean, because we have tons of caves and stuff around here
Yeah.
like that. And
You never
I
know.
won't go any of them because I'm worried about mountain lion
Yeah.
or running into bear den or something. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
stay out of the caves. And it's always you're always told, especially in the Adirondacks. I mean, I'm sure in probably other places,
Mhm.
don't ever deviate from the trail
Yeah.
because you might find something you don't want to find,
That's right.
and it's
Yeah.
usually something that's hunting you. So
Yeah.
I don't want to be on the menu, so I follow the rules to a
Mhm.
certain extent. I mean, if I know the area really well, then I don't have an issue with wandering through the trees. But when it's way deep in, or like if you're climbing a mountain, they have big signs: "Don't deviate from the trail."
That's right.
Because even though a lot of people don't think that we have mountain lion, we do here, and that's where they are hiding out,
That's
and they're
right.
watching you. So see, Ryan, we get occasional moose in our streets, in our yards, in cities. Lots of wildlife here. It's just we had a huge population of moose coming down from Canada, and we missed everyone.
Oh.
I was like, oh man. So because that's one
Yeah.
thing my husband would love to see,
I
and
want
I
to see
would
one.
love to see it again.
Yeah.
Same thing with the bald eagles. We never managed to catch it when they're in the area.
Oh, there's one that I live on a pond, and there's one that circles the pond at least a couple times a week. So we see those often.
My husband would love it.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And we did one time. We were at, I think it was Racket Lake, and I was sitting outside, and I don't know. Oh, my husband had went to the store or something back in town, and he had just come in, and I heard this hellish noise, this squawking noise, and it was an eagle. I didn't know they made this horrible noise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was flying over the campsite and like, oh my God. And my husband was like, what? I go, you just missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a little upset. But there is a time around here where they come here and they hang out for a while, and
Cool.
we've just never been able to catch it. So
Yeah.
it's just the way it is. Cree has another question. Oh, wrong one. Jumping quick. Have you ever heard the theory that the reason you don't find bones of Bigfoot is because they bury them in water?
No, I haven't. That's the first time I ever heard of that. That's good.
Yeah,
I
I've
like
never
that.
heard of that either. I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard stories where they say they drag them off and then they take care of them in their own way. But
Yeah.
I've never heard of them putting them in water.
I've recently heard about. I think it was the natives at one point. They would if somebody passed away, they would suspend the body underwater, and they'd put sticks all around them to hold them down and keep them underwater. And eventually, with the buildup of mud and all that, it would allow them to be fossilized. So it was an interesting thing to see and read and research about, because it's kind of smart, if you think, how do you create or make a fossil, and if we have folks on the planet who understood how to fossilize things, that could kind of change how history is written,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, really. Well, they still say that they don't know how to mummify people like they
Right.
used to do in the old days. They still can't figure out how they did it.
It's pretty crazy, when you see somebody like
Ugh.
sitting there that looks like, and they're thousands of years old, but they really don't look, their skin, their hair, their nails, everything is there.
It's
You're
all
like,
there. Yeah.
unbelievable.
Let's see. Ryan says, would think they are smart enough to bury or maybe in caves.
Yeah,
Or yeah, a good thinking Cree maybe underwater. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That they
yeah,
would dispose of the dead unless it was like some one of them roaming around and an old timer, like you'd say, and it just
yeah.
dropped. Then yeah, I think nature takes over.
Yeah, I heard it. And you would think, they're going to take care of their dead just like we do, right? They're not just going to go leave them right there on the ground, right? They're gonna take that body and do some sort of mourning or ritual or
You would think,
burial or something to dispose of that body and do it in a manner that respects that individual. So I would think so. I did hear of a story before where so a family was in a house. They heard something outside. The guy goes outside with his gun. He shoots it, shoots whatever it is that's out by the wood line. Come to find out, it was a Bigfoot. They go run in the house after they discover that it was, it looked like a big hairy something that they'd never seen before. And then next thing you know, they have a ton of rocks being thrown at their house, and the walls are being pounded on, and they're looking out the windows and stuff, see what's going on. And there's a dozen Bigfoot out there, trying to attack them for shooting the other one. And
right?
in the meantime, they're also dragging the other one away back into the forest. So that would kind of suggest that they collect the body.
Right. Yeah, Cree said, I saw it on a video a long time ago. They were finding mounds in the deepest part of the water and strange stick things pushed into the mound. It was
Yeah,
very interesting. So maybe that's what they were trying to do.
right.
And
Absolutely.
then, yeah, Pam says, yeah, elephants bury their dead. Ants
Really?
reclaim their dead. Everybody, yeah, animals take care of their own. There's a lot that we don't understand on what they do, unless you're into that and you research it. Otherwise, we don't know what they're doing. Cree has a
Yeah.
question. What about the idea that Bigfoot is an alien, and that's why so many see balls of light before the sound or sights happen?
Yeah, there's a lot of that. They talked about that on the Joe Rogan show too, as well, with Pilates. The connection between orbs and Bigfoot. There's definitely a possibility there. There is a lot of conversation about sightings of orbs before there's a Bigfoot sighting. I mean, even the Whitehall event here. If you talk to Brian Goslin, who was one of the officers there that night, he said that the week prior to that happening, that the police station the phones were just lighting up with UFO sightings and strange lights in the sky and all this stuff all week long. And then at the end of the week, they have this major Bigfoot event in the town. So absolutely possible. I don't count anything out. That's a good thing about me. So I love it. I think that any connection or idea or evidence that leads us in the right direction is good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Don't worry about it, Cree. Take care of your husband first. Not a problem. Pam wants to know, do you think that they have some kind of cloaking ability?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. We talked about that, how they can, maybe control their vibration, because anything under 400 hertz, the human eye can't see. So if they were able to slow down their vibration, then we won't be able to see them, and that could count as cloaking. That could give them the effect of like Predator in the Predator movies, where you see kind of a shadowy thing, but it looks like nothing, at the same time. So I think there's definitely something to cloaking. I'm just trying to make a real connection with that, and that's where I come with the theory about the quartz, the amount of quartz that's here in the Adirondack Park, how it stores energy, how Bigfoot could harness that energy and then use that to help control their vibration so that they can either slip in between dimensions or just cloak to being seen or not seen by the human eye or by electrical equipment.
Right. Now, my question is for you is, that everybody has a theory about what trails they follow, what trails they use for migration. Has anybody ever put up any kind of trail cams on those trails to see if they could catch anything?
I talked to a lot of folks, and definitely a lot of hunters come up all the time. I got 37 trail cams out there. Ain't no damn Bigfoot, you know. So the hunters got cameras out there. We could say that. And
Right.
I have some trail cams. I put them out usually around my campsite if I'm camping, things like that, just to see if there's something watching me. But so there's not a lot of people out there actually. So when you say, you're talking to John from Adirondack Bigfoot. I don't even claim to be a researcher. I claim to be an investigative journalist, and there isn't many other folks other than myself that's out in these 6 million acres putting up a couple trail cams by camp.
Wow.
So there's not a lot of folks out there looking, right, and trying or investing in cameras or drones or other things. Like, we don't have an army of people. I mean, but if we did, I think that we'd come across more evidence, and we'd have more things to more feathers to stick in our cap and say, hey, we got some pretty good evidence here.
Right. Or even in like the spots where you say where you see the trees X'd or the pile of trees, put something up there and focus just on those sections.
Agreed. Yeah.
And
You're right. I did try some of that.
Right.
I found a structure. I did put my trail cams on that structure. And nothing came of it other than some of the pictures came back black and white and some came back in color. And I don't know why it swapped itself to black and white. I don't know if that had something to do with it. I don't think it had anything to do with being night and day. Maybe it did. But it was just, other than that, I didn't get anything. No deer. And it was there was a deer trail close by too, because there's a lot of droppings and you can see a game trail that kind of ran right in front of the camera. So I was hoping to get something.
Right.
And over a 3-night period, I didn't get anything. And there's bear sightings in that area, lots of deer. So we'll see. I guess the search continues. And I haven't used the trail cams a lot. But maybe, I mean, that's a great idea. If I come across a significant area, focus the cameras there and see what happens.
And then just see what happens. Yeah. Betty says, did you hear that Bigfoot are aliens? Some people think that.
Yeah. Some folks think that. I don't think I'm quite on that level yet, but there may be a connection there, one way or the other. Anything is possible at this point in time. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm digging it.
There you go. Cree's question is: there was a research team that determined that one of the sounds they felt could be a Bigfoot was like a tiger that used it to stop animals so they could attack. Thoughts?
Yeah, that's interesting. First, I've heard that. I've heard of like Bigfoot mimicking owls. I've heard of a lot of different things, like my experience of hearing monkeys, but then on the recorder it sounds like whoops. I've heard some screams that people have sent me. There's so many different ways. I mean, there's the Sierra Sounds. That's a well-known, documented, audio of possible Bigfoot communicating with each other, which is super interesting to listen to.
So, all right. Ryan says that my dad sent me a screaming from the woods near his hunting stand. He moved his hunting spot after he heard it. I could send you the Bigfoot yelling. Well, I think it is. So okay. He'd be interested in hearing that. That's
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And where was it too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You just say where it is, Ryan. I don't know if it's where you're living or is it back in Massachusetts? Wayne wants to know, do you believe that the government is covering up stories about Bigfoot? Not a silly question, Wayne.
Yeah, no, that's not a silly question. I love that question because I absolutely think so. There's restricted area throughout the Adirondack Park where you're not allowed to go in. There's areas where you can't fly your drone, and they say it's all due to wilderness and all that good stuff. I'm not buying all of that. There's some areas that are way out. There's no trails or anything, but they have patrols out there for some reason. Like, what are they patrolling? What are they protecting? I have a lot of questions from that perspective. And then also you think the connection between the logging industry, Bigfoot, and the government, right, is some reason loggers won't talk to me, right? And it's just super interesting that I definitely think that there's something from that perspective, to the point we were talking about earlier. If word got out, what would happen, But there could be some sort of agreement. When we came here 250 years ago and settled America, or it was more than 250, but 250 became America.
Right.
And we settled the land. And, of course, all those natives had those stories. Mr. Champlain has his own accounts that he has documented too as well. With the natives. So there's just so much to say that there's something there. And the best way to keep it secret, let the government keep charge of it, right? Because they're going to influence this any way they'd like to. So here's a good thing. Like I sent a big long letter to the DEC for a FOIL request, a Freedom of Information Law Act, and asking for anything that had to do with Bigfoot, had to do with any cat attacks, like what did you say, cougars or whatever that may be around here, any type of unexplained injuries, scat, all that kind of stuff. Over the past 20, I submitted it in late 2025 saying over the past 25 years from 2000 to now. And they sent me back 25 experiences or issues, right? I'm trying to read each one live, and I'll put shorts out and reels out on documenting what they are. So I went through the first one was a bear attack, which was super interesting. But I didn't go read them all to see. I want to be surprised every time I see it. So when I make the video, I'm surprised.
Right. Your reaction is there.
But I challenged them back. So I saw, and you could see something like bear, unexplained scat, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going. So there's only been 25 incidents of bear incidents in the Adirondack Park. Right there, where's all? There's got to be more, and this is just I included all kinds of things like physical harm on humans, unknown physical harm, all kinds of scenarios to try to make it a little bit broader, so that if there's something unexplained, I wanted to be able to read about it. Right. And they only sent me back 25, so I sent it back and said, hey, I want to speak to a supervisor. There's no way there's only 25 in 25 years. So one incident in the Adirondack Park every year in the past 25 years, it's impossible.
Yeah, no, it's more than that.
So they reopened my case, and it's being investigated by a higher up. So I don't know what that means.
Hey, come on, cough up.
Yeah, oh gosh. So what were they holding back? And now they're like, do we want to give this guy any more information? I don't know. That's why I've been a little bit more reluctant on posting more about it, because I don't want them. Oh, let's go and see who Adirondack Bigfoot is. Let's go see this guy. Oh, this is what he's doing. We can't let him have all that information. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're only going to let so many people have so much stuff.
Yeah.
What the hell are they? I mean, give me a break. Just let it loose.
I can tell you this: they're definitely holding back. There's no way possible.
Well, actually, no. There was just an attack on a woman in the Catskills the other day.
That's right. Yeah.
For no apparent reason. She said that the bear was acting squirrely.
Mm-hmm.
And it come up from behind her. She turned around, it smacked her to the ground, and it took off.
Oh, gosh.
So she said, but before that, she'd seen it earlier, and it was going around in circles. So was it poisoned by something? Was it bit by something?
I don't know.
And it just reacted to her being in her own yard.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hello to everybody that has come in, and goodbye to Sky. Have a great night. TARDIS wants to know, given the incident that happened here in Victoria in 1966, and the government is trying to hide evidence still, could it be aliens?
Possible. Yeah. I think anything's possible. I really do. I mean, I just I don't see how, we can't prove one way or the other. So you have to keep the door open.
Yeah. And they're not going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
They're just not going to.
No.
For some reason, they just don't think that, the public can't handle the truth. I mean, it's true. Some people, like you said, if there is ever evidence of Bigfoot in areas that they are in, exactly, the hunters are going to all hop in their vehicles and head to that spot, because that's a trophy.
Yeah.
And that's all they're thinking about is that trophy.
That's right.
And it would be awful if somebody ever, I don't know, the backlash they would get.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like, how do you know that's maybe it's the last Bigfoot on
then
the
they
planet
would be hunted. Right?
I know.
If they killed the Bigfoot and it came out, hey, here it is. Look at it. They got a bit of dead Bigfoot. Everybody, then people will go and that's.
Or just like you said, they did that, and then who's to say that the clan that Bigfoot belonged to
That's right.
doesn't take
Exactly.
revenge on that person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got people, stories of people that disappear all the time in the woods.
Yeah.
What happened to them?
Yeah, like
What
a
did they stumble across?
half a dozen nuclear scientists just disappeared.
Yeah, where did they go? They don't just poof.
And one just reappeared dead on the property that they already searched 3 times. And now all of a sudden she's there, but she wasn't the last 3 times they searched that exact area.
That's just weird. Just so weird.
Unbelievable.
Hey, Julie, how's it going? Let's see. Ryan says, yeah, we have giant skeletons in the Smithsonian. They just hide them. They hide everything.
Oh, I just found out that there's a second Smithsonian, and I forget where they said. I think they said it was in Virginia or something. And it's one where they keep the things they don't want people to see.
Oh,
yeah, I got to look that up. I got to write that down.
Interesting. Wayne, here's a question. Considering all the Bigfoot Yeti around the world, do you think they may have been related and separated by a natural disaster?
That would make sense, when you think about the Ice Age, the Younger Dryas, and everything that's happened in this world. I mean, there was a 12,000 year period of the planet just covered in ice and glacier and snow, and the water levels dropped, and the land actually sunk from the weight of the ice and pushed it down further into the earth. So I mean, there was so many changes, and we lived through it. Very few humans, and those who were lucky enough to be on mountaintops and stuff like that, and have access to caves, but it set us back, right? And who's saying that couldn't have happened to Bigfoot too, right? If they were around at that time, they had to live through that unbelievable time too as well, that took out half, more than half, like 90% of the planet. So super interesting. But I mean, the more you look back in time and you think about Earth, I mean, this planet was a water planet at one point. It was an ice planet at one point. It was a gas planet at one point. I mean, this planet has gone through everything. We are just in the sweet zone at the moment where life is just flourishing. So we don't know how long that's going to last, right? And actually, they say every 6,000 years there's an event where the poles shift.
Yes.
And that actually the core of the planet has stopped moving. So that means that's signaling that the pole shift is going to happen soon. And we're overdue for that 6,000.
Yeah, it was supposed to just happen a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. I mean, I always heard since I was a kid that eventually all the weather patterns are going to flip.
Right.
So the weather that they have, like in Florida, will be in New York, and then what New York has, Florida will have.
Hey, that'd be cool. I'm good with that.
Who knows if that's true, but that's what we were told back in the day. So it's funny how old I am, but
well, that changes the ecology and everything, right?
It's everything.
So, yeah, I mean, the animals that we have up here won't be able to live in that type of heat and humidity.
No, well, they would have to migrate somewhere else.
That's right.
And then things would just adapt as the changes occur. I mean, because we've felt certain changes as the years have been going on. I mean, our summers are hotter.
Yeah, maybe skunk ape used to be Bigfoot until the planet flipped.
Don't know.
Yeah.
So, any more questions, guys, before we let John go on his way? We've hit that 2-hour mark, and I'm sure he's got stuff to do. You guys got stuff to do. If you guys have any questions or like photographs or stories or like Ryan's got audio, send them to John. He's willing to check them out.
Yeah.
And see what you guys have, and he could add it to his collection.
Yeah.
But until then, you can find him on it's Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
Pinky posted the link, so I thank you, Pinky, for that. John, I want to thank you again for coming on. I really enjoyed it, and we're going to be watching you, sir.
I appreciate it. Yeah, please.
You're gonna find stuff, and we want to be there when you do. So
yeah, we got a lot of fun coming up too. So we're gonna be at Morrill Lake doing a meetup. That's down here in on 7/26. So that's a Saturday. We rented a pavilion. We're going to do Bigfoot castings. We're going to get out in the woods, find some evidence, and just get together with like-minded folks and have some fun. So we're excited about that. Obviously, we'll be camping throughout the summer all over the Adirondack Park. And then we also have the Whitehall Festival coming up. That's always the best time to explore the subject if you're interested. I mean, it changed my life. Maybe it'll change yours. The day after that, we're going to be on the Minnehaha on Lake George doing a Bigfoot cruise. So I'll be hosting that with Paul Bartholomew. That's fun.
Oh, it's gonna be
And then
fun.
we did 2 squatching in the snows this year, 2 events in the winter. We're going to do one big one next year on February 6th. So that'll be at the Marriott downtown Lake George. So we're really excited because that's going to be a big event.
Oh,
Super excited.
wow.
Do something to get you out of the house in the winter.
There you go. So if you guys are in that area, stop in, say hello to
That's
John,
Yeah.
and share your stories. Again, John, thank you very much. And to everybody out there, remember, always live life a little bit on the raw side. We'll see you soon.